To sew a lap seam, we actually want to start with our 2 pieces at the ironing board. We're going to begin with just 1 piece and set the other one to the side. You've got your 2 pieces with a stitch line. So what we want to do first is we want to fold on the stitch line. Now you're using muslin, so it really doesn't matter which is the right side or the wrong side, but if this was fabric that had a right side and a wrong side, you'd want to make sure that you're folding the fabric toward the wrong side of the fabric. So I'm going to press a fold right on my stitch line, just like I did for several of our hand sewing stitches. So now I've got my seam allowance folded under. The next step is to pin these pieces together. You're going to take the side that you folded with the seam allowance that's facing underneath, and you're going to line it up right next to your other stitch line. Again, if this was fabric that had right side or wrong sides, both of this would be the right side of the fabric, but for just the purposes of learning the technique, this is sufficient. So you've got your edge that's folded under, match it up against the line that you have, then pin through all of those layers to hold this in place. I'm going to do 1 pin on each end to make sure that it doesn't go wonky on me when I put my pin in the middle. Okay, so now that that is pinned, we can take it to the sewing machine and I will show you the technique for how to sew this on. Now we're ready to sew our lap seam. So I've got my camera in here really close so you can see the details of what we're doing. So what you want to do is you want to stitch as close to this folded edge as possible. That's going to create a really secure seam and just a really pretty one. So if you want to make sure that you're exactly right, you can turn your needle slightly closer to the fabric so you can see whether or not you're right on the edge. Okay, and just like with every stitch, we're gonna back stitch. This is really interesting trying to sew looking through the camera screen. And you're just gonna go all the way across, taking your pins out as you go. The latch seam is very frequently used for things like appliques, patches, that sort of application is what we use the lap seam for. Coming to the end, back stitch, and pull this off. Okay, we're gonna back out of here just a little bit so we can see our seam better. And there's our lap seam. I'm right on the edge. Whoop, dropped it. Give this a tug, it's not going anywhere. So that is a lap seam. Don't forget to clip both ends of your threads. Pet peeve, don't do it. There's your lap seam.